Class is in session. Welcome to the Hitting the Book show for Monday, April 20th. Ian Cameron, Connor Mack with you, ready to break down the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs, NBA playoffs, and, of course, the MLB playoffs as well. So very much looking forward to that as we roll along here. We will begin with the we'll do the we always go NHL, NBA, MLB at the end usually. So we'll start with the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs where we have 4 games on tap, 3 game twos. Plus, we have one series just starting tonight, and that is Anaheim taking on Edmonton. I'm going to buy into the bounce-back theory with a couple of teams here after losing Game 1. One is Ottawa, and that's the one I bet on the money line because you're getting a good enough price, plus 130. Now, they may be without Artem Zub, one of their better defenders, shutdown defenseman. That's a concern. But if you look at Game 1, Carolina won 2-0. The one goal was off a player in front. It ricocheted in. The second goal was off the shoulder of the goalie, Linus Ullmark, for Ottawa, and it would bounce behind him, and Taylor Hall was there to whack it in. They got a bounce on both goals. It was a pretty even game outside of that. I don't think Ottawa got run over by Carolina by any stretch of the imagination. Now, Freddie Anderson was great. I'm going to have to see it again from him, though, playing that well for a second straight game in a row. So I think, and Ottawa, will push back strong tonight. We'll see about winning, but I didn't put everything on the money line with Ottawa, plus 120. Plus 130 is the price we're looking at here with the Sens tonight. But a little bit on that, a little bit on them to score in the first period, which is a reasonable minus 135. First goal in the first period with Ottawa in this game, because you figure they're going to have to come out strong, try to get the lead. That's plus one. Let me see the price. Plus 150 with Ottawa first goal, first period at FanDuel. Pretty good price on that. So a little bit on that. Pittsburgh, I think, might bounce back and win the series. The problem is I don't like the money line at all. There's no way I'm laying minus 150 with Pittsburgh, even in a bounce-back spot. But Pittsburgh, again, in that game, first goal, first period is around plus 115 at FanDuel. Like that a little bit. Minnesota, Dallas, same thing. I think Dallas will play better because they couldn't have played much worse in Game 1 against a Minnesota team that struggled in the first round. But, again, I don't love the idea of laying a $130, 35 with Dallas pregame on the money line, so I decided instead, Dallas first goal, first period, which again is around plus 115 in that game. Pretty solid price, plus 125 actually for that at FanDuel. And give me the over 6.5 in Anaheim, Edmonton. I think there's going to be goals there in that one. I don't love the way Anaheim played defensively. Their penalty kill was bad late in the season, and that could be some trouble up against the Edmonton Oilers. I do want to mention one thing though. Edmonton's 1-7 their last 8 game ones in the first round, which is pretty crazy that they've struggled in Game 1 that much. But the problem is Anaheim's form was not great down the stretch, and I really do worry about that. So we'll look over at the total there in that late game, Ducks and Oilers. C-Mac, what do you think for Monday night in the Stanley Cup playoffs?
Yeah, I know that is an interesting bit there by the Oilers, that they've struggled a little bit. I think if you like the Ducks, you don't fuck around the full game. I would just take them first period a little bit. That's the bet I would take with them, thinking they come out a little bit alive. Because as the game goes down, I think their defense does wear down. And the other game, I had the Flyers. Man, I want to go right back to them, but I think this is going to be tied up. I think this will be a long series. These teams hate each other, back and forth, tough games. But I think Philly a little bit has a better squad, so to me, not that I'm going crazy, they just cash Game 1. I would take them again if I had to, in this game. So, it does light up for Pittsburgh.
By the way, I took Philly in that series, so I don't disagree.
Oh, you got a series price on? Okay,
I did. Yep.
Nice, but yeah, Pittsburgh. It does. The bet might be to go like you just talked about. Was just the first goal for Pittsburgh, right away, first period at that plus money price. I don't mind it. Ottawa, Carolina, I'm going to be off. I want to be on Ottawa. I can't do it. I just don't trust them. And I'm off the last game as well. I talked about how I like the Wild. I don't trust them enough to win again here, which they could. They seem like it could go back to the old team, but I think Dallas is in a little bit of trouble. I just think the Wild right now are a better hockey team. So, yeah, Wild. I had to late.
I mean, I'm worried. I mean, I know Dallas has a history, the Stars do, of losing game one and bouncing back strong in game two.
Yeah, I think they'll be better, but
I have concerns. They look.
me too.
The Minnesota looked faster, more into it. Like they wanted it more. Like maybe Dallas.
Oh yeah,
years in a row,
Yeah.
see Mac to the conference finals. They look a little hungover, a little tired, a little less gas in the tank. I'm not saying that's going to be the way tonight, but it looked that way in game one.
definitely did. They were like on their heels the whole just like what the hell happened. So it seems like though this would be a perfect where the Wild would lose, but I think they're just a better hockey team and the value's with them here at this price. Like we talked about the other day before game one.
Yeah.
With the Wild.
Not to mention their head coach, Dallas, Glenn Gulletson. How about 0-5 in the Stanley Cup playoffs? Hasn't won as a head coach in the Stanley Cup playoffs. He got swept when he was Calgary head coach by Anaheim several years ago, and now that was his 5th playoff game as a head coach in the NHL on Saturday, and he still hasn't won one. So he's got to show he can get over the hump a little bit too, just like the team, and bounce back. All right, NBA playoffs. The Dogs don't do well tonight. I ain't doing well, because I made a case for Toronto, Atlanta, and Minnesota in all 3 of the games tonight as far as taking the points. Toronto, look, they got blitzed in the second half, but they had a good first half in Cleveland. I don't trust Cleveland defensively still. Cleveland's 20-32 against the spread off a win as well. You know what that tells me? No killer instinct. They start to feel a little too good about themselves, after a victory, and I could see that creeping in. Plus, Toronto knows what the problem was. Second half, Brandon Ingram wasn't involved enough. He can't have a second half where he only shot the ball 3 or 4 times. Got to get him involved more. They know it. I like his prop over 21.5 points tonight. Brandon Ingram in that game for Toronto.
He needs to not fucking disappear.
Yes.
He can do that at times throughout his career. Fucking, you don't even know he's on the fucking floor.
Yep, no doubt. But I'm on Toronto plus the points, split it with team total for them over 105.5 with the Raptor team total. I'm on Atlanta. I went back and looked. New York Knicks, the last 2 years in the playoffs, they've gone to the conference finals back-to-back years. Do you know how many times they've covered the point spread twice in a row at home in the playoffs? Once. One time the last 2 years. That's it. And I know it off the top of my head. I've seen this with the Knicks before. They'll have a nice home win in the playoffs, and then the next game they'll either lose outright or life and death to win. They've done this over and over again. I think Atlanta's got a better game in them. Give me the points with Atlanta there in that one. And Minnesota, Denver, I like over in that game. It stayed under in game one. Minnesota shot horrifically in the second half. I think they'll shoot a little bit better tonight. I still don't think they're going to defend Denver all that well. Denver's just too good offensively. So I like over 230.5. Lean Minnesota plus the points as well in the late game. CMAC, NBA playoffs. What are you liking?
Yeah, Toronto, Cleveland. I mean under here in this total. 222.5. I think I'm going to go back to the Hawks first half. I think they can come out. Again, I just, that second half just wasn't very good from them. But I think, again, like these teams, there's a little bit New York is like down low to get easy buckets.
Yes.
But I think that's a little bit of an issue. But I think the Hawks can make enough and keep it tight at least early. This late game, I'm looking at, I think Denver's just flat out better. But, I mean, are we getting this focused Denver team? Because they will cover. But I still feel like the team is still at times can lay off defensively. It's just trusting Minnesota. Edwards, everything they got going, which I haven't loved seeing much. But I think they could hang around in this game and cover the number of Minnesota. And I'm off the total. This has moved up a little bit. You talked about it's up to 232 now. So the 230s are gone, 230.5 in this game.
Yeah, it has moved a little bit. So, Sean, let me see where it is right now. Yeah, I see it now. It was 230.5 at DraftKings earlier today, but even that's gone to 231.5, and I see 232 pretty much everywhere else. So a little movement there on that total. All right, MLB time. As always, MLB the focus here on Hitting the Books. We'll go through the MLB card here for a Monday. A little lighter card, as usual on a Monday. We'll start with Houston and Cleveland. Spaghetti Arrighetti on the mound here for Houston, and Slade Ciccone on the mound for Cleveland. We've got Cleveland minus 130 home favorites, 7.5 the total in this game. I didn't mind Slade Ciccone a little bit last year for Cleveland, but I don't like the way he's pitching this year. I can tell you that. He's had a rough go of it. kind of feel like Houston could be a live dog. The only problem with backing Houston on the money line is you got to worry about their bullpen. I mean, their bullpen continues to have a ton of problems for the Astros, but I kind of feel like they can hit Caccione a little bit. I don't know, maybe Astros money line, maybe Astros team total over. We'll see on the other side. Arrighetti was actually pretty solid in his last start. Maybe he can fare well here, but I'll lean a little bit to the Astros here. C-Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, this one's tough. I think there could be runs, or he likes the over here. Astros Guardians over 7. Shout out Gerald Jones, my dude at Beat Gotti. Gundam, what up, my man? Great to see ya. See ya. Monday, just another manic Monday. Got that shit stuck in my head.
Yeah, Bengals. Yeah, back in the day. That's our
Bengals actually.
That's our era of music. Yeah, 80s, 90s.
Tad bit. Yeah, a little bit. I wouldn't say I'm listening to that on the regular, but in this game, I think there could be runs. We got to trust Cleveland to score. That's always the issue. You know, I'm going to get through. I thought a few of these teams will get to like the Mariners, the game later tonight, because I think it sets up. Because I know Arrighetti, he could lock in. I just think after pitching so well, you mean, what do you have? 10 Ks in that game too?
Yeah, 10 Ks. He pitched well. He did.
Yeah, he gave up like a quick run and then just shut it down. I want to fade him. So I like Cleveland. I lean Cleveland here and their runs, even their team total in this game.
All right, St. Louis and Miami. We've got Max McGreevy and Max Meyer here on the mound. Miami minus 135, home favorites, 8.5 the total. I think this is a game where you could perhaps have some runs scored. I don't know about McGreevy. I know 2.57 ERA for him, and he's pitched a little bit pretty solid his last 2 outings for sure. How will he fare here against the Marlins is a bit of a question. You know, Meyer's not someone that overly excites me on the Miami side. He gave up 3 runs, 5 innings. By the way, something interesting about Meyer, 3 straight overs for him in the last 3 starts that he's taken the mound. So I think the total at 8.5, I could see this. You can make a case for the over here in this one. C-Mac, what do you think with St. Louis, Miami?
I know this was a game I looked at that there could be runs. I think Meyer's just hanging around, a couple decent starts. McGreevy probably should give up a few. What do we get from him? But I think the value is with the Cardinals playing well.
A little bit better. Yeah.
A little bit better. I don't love this team, and I think they're going to be 500. You know, if they are, like, that would be, I think they kind of overachieve if they do better than that, because I'm going to want to fade them, I think, here soon. But they're playing good baseball. So Cardinals here early. This lineup's just been hitting Burleson, some of these other guys. Even a little bit of the lower of the lineup the last couple games because the Astros are scoring some runs. So, yeah, Cards first 5 here for me.
Hey, look who's in the chat. Ramon Scott, someone I have not seen in a while. Ramon, hope you're doing well. It's been a while since I've seen you on one of the bet casts that Jimmy would do on Pub Sports Radio. I saw you on a bunch of those back a long time ago.
Scott.
Yeah, Ramon Scott, good to see you. Everybody had a crush on Susanna Hoffs walking around like an Egyptian.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, they were hot-looking women there. You know, the Bengals.
Ramon Scott, he's only coming in when we talk music or some other shit. Do I have to bring that up?
We can't get a freaking like stat or a trend from him when we're talking these games, but he'll chime in when we're talking music or pop culture or something. Yeah.
I know. We gotta get pop culture on this show. Yeah. Bring in maybe a little music to get you in the chat, my guy.
Good stuff. Yeah.
Shout out to my guy.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. It was good to see you. All right. Great stuff. All right. On we go. Next game, it's Atlanta, Washington. We've got Bryce Elder and my favorite fucking pinata to bet against right now in Major League Baseball, Joel Irvin here, Jake Irvin, I should say, for the Nationals. We've got minus 150 for the Braves, 8 the total. I mean, Atlanta is, coming off, Sunday Night Baseball.
This is the Sunday night, yeah.
I usually like to. I cannot do it with Jake Irvin. I cannot. Jake Irvin is not someone I trust at all. He's given up, we see in the first 4 starts, 6, 8, 11, 13 runs in 17 innings. It's not great at all. Bryce Elder's actually been pretty good here in the early going. I don't know. I still don't trust Bryce Elder fully, though. I don't. And his track record against the Nationals, I will say this. 3 starts against the Nats, and the Braves are 0-3 with Bryce Elder's 3 starts against the Nats in the past, and he's been a little shaky against them. So I like the over here. That's what I like most of all. Man. It's definitely a spot. Normally, I'd be on Washington in this spot. Fading the team off Sunday Night Baseball. I just can't do it with Jake Irvin. He's a bet against pitcher for me. C-Mac, what do you think?
I know this seems like a little bit of a bad spot for Elder. You talking about the Sunday night fade, but the Braves are just red hot. What have they won? Like 7 straight again yesterday.
Now
Even they were small dogs.
Pathetic, just floundering Philly team, but still you give them.
Yeah, hey, still division win. You gotta take it any way you can. But it just seems like a tough spot. I know this total's dropped when I see these two, and through the lineups, these both sides have good success. I know the wind's slightly blowing in, and I think the book here is thinking, just the fade at the Braves. It's just I don't know if you could do it here, but I lean the Nats in this game. It's tough to do with Irvin. I think you could just look at the team total, which I was a little bit earlier, which I think is 3.5 full game. I gotta get the best number on that though. Nats team total.
James Wood.
I know it's plus money.
I like James Wood though to go yard.
Well, this is the problem. Yeah, Elder. I mean, he's bad against lefties. So Wood. I know Abrams has cooled off a little bit. He's 16 for 6 for 15. Garcia's 5 for 11. It just is not a good matchup for him. Even though he's been good, and I think he's gonna get cracked. My guy Elder, this guy's getting too much love. Fuck this guy. I've seen him pitch.
He's gonna have a rough outing at some point. Maybe it's tonight. We'll see when they take on Washington. But I like over 8. Now that it's fallen to 8, give me the over there in that one. All right, Cincinnati and Tampa Bay. We got Scholten spot start opener for the Rays and Louder for the Reds. Tampa Bay minus 120 home favorites, 8 the total in this game. I think it's a bounce back. I don't know if I want to lay $1.20 with the Rays because I don't know. We'll see what we get from Scholten. I don't usually like laying a price with a team that's going to use pitchers by committee, and that's going to be the kind of night here for Tampa Bay. But I know one thing about Rhett Louder for us as Cincy. I don't think he's that great. 8 runs in his last 11 innings of work. Tampa Bay coming off, a loss to Pittsburgh yesterday, the last game of that series. This is still a Rays team. If you like Tampa to win, let me tell you what they've scored in the last 7 games that they've won. They're 7-2 in their last 9. In the 7 wins, they've scored a minimum of 5 runs in every game. So that's what I'm on, C-Mac. Not the money line, but give me the Tampa team total. Over 3.5 here, minus 130. When they win, they score runs. They've scored 5+ in each of their last 7 wins, the Tampa Bay Rays. So give me that Rays team total over 3.5. C-Mac, what do you think?
I know Cincy too has got a pretty good road record. Man, I don't trust them going forward. I know that this is one of the better starts they've had too. They've had a few all right starts. It seems like the last 5 or so years, every once in a while, and then it all falls apart. I was thinking under in this game. You got to trust these pitchers. So it was just a lean for me. Lean under and Tampa Bay.
There you go. Let's go 5-2 Tampa in this game. There we go. Everybody's happy, and it would stay under as well.
I like it.
So there you go. 5-2 Rays final. Everybody cashes. All right, next up, we've got, as we continue along here, it is St. Louis. No, we already did that one. By the way, I like Jordan Walker, home run prop for the Cardinals in that game. A good price tonight for him there. All right, on we go to Philadelphia Phillies and Chicago Cubs. Nola and Nola. Aaron Nola for the Phillies, and we've got Colin Ray for the Cubs. Cubs minus 115 to minus 120 home favorites. 7.5 the total. So I'm just fading the Phillies every game, and all I do each of these last several days is keep on seeing winner. Every time I fade Philadelphia. They played Sunday night baseball fade angle in play, and they have to travel because that was in Philly last night. Now they're going to Wrigley to take on the Cubs. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of Colin Ray, but I think it's a wash because Aaron Nola, I don't trust him on the road. It really is that simple. So it's a wash. I think the Cubs, they're starting to find ways to win right now. They beat up a terrible Mets team over the weekend. Why can't they beat up a terrible Phillies team right now from the same division? So give me the Cubs here, minus 115. C-Mac, what do you think?
That's what I like here. I put Cubs Cubs early. Cubs team total. I know we have a little bit of a wind's not blowing in. It's just kind of like a crosswind. I think I could still get 3 runs. It seems like Nola, especially on the road, he's like gives up 3 runs, even though that's about what he's given up his last couple starts as well. So, and I just don't trust him at this age on the road. And we get 2 teams. I thought this could have stretched out longer though for the Cubs. This number a little bit. I mean, it's just stayed here a little bit too close. I mean, for me, I think with a team that's lost 7 in a row, and the Cubs have won 6 straight, right?
Yep,
I believe
they've lost 6 in a row. The Cubs have won. Yes,
Cubs have won.
Yes, they have. Yep, 6 in a row.
5 straight.
5 in a row. 5 in a row. Yeah, 5
in a row. Yeah, the last couple just against the Phillies and against the Mets. But yeah, Cubs for me here. Cubs and their team total 2.5.
I like it. We're in agreement. All right, we got Baltimore, Kansas City, Kyle Bradish, Seth Lugo. Pretty much even money here, -110. I guess slight favorites in some spots. Baltimore on the road, 9 the total in this game. These 2 teams, boy, both of them having their issues. The way I see it, though, is Kansas City. I can't do it with this group any. They just are terrible offensively right now. My goodness, this Kansas City team, during this 7-game losing streak, they can't hit a lick right now. How do you get shut out by Ryan Weathers? How do you only score 1 run against some of these guys that they've been up against lately, the Kansas City Royals? I mean, the lineup is just so putrid. Now, if you look at current form from the starters, Lugo's got the better form. Bradish was expected to be a really good pitcher. I like his stuff, but he has not started the season well. This is the ultimate buy low for me on Kyle Bradish. I think he's a better pitcher than he's shown so far, and if he's ever going to turn it around and have a good start, a good outing, it's tonight. Because Kansas City's a horrible lineup right now. They can't hit their way out of a wet paper bag. I kind of like Baltimore here as a slight road favorite. C-Mac, what do you think?
I get it. I mean, I really don't want either of these teams. I think a prop, you could look at Henderson in this game. I mean, this
Probably
is a game they find
under because of the state of the offense was right now, but yeah.
Well, this is one of the games that, the fences are now in here a little bit. We haven't seen runs yet because the offense has been so bad. And this is a game where at least a little bit of wind was blowing out. There wasn't much today, right?
Yeah.
It's like 10 to 13 right around there.
7 to the under for Kansas City this year, 15-7.
I know. So even with the wind blowing out and everything, like this offense could break out. I think it could. It's not like a best bet, but this total is 9. I'd still take it early here. First 3 under 2.5. That way, I don't mind the first 5. I'd rather just get through the lineup when I can, and I don't have to pay crazy amount of juice. I'd take the first 3 amount just because you get that lineup usually just 1 through 9, or maybe it could turn over. That's why I look for it, at least with better juice, not like a -150. With that, it's depending on the matchup. I'm just putting it out there. That's why I like to do it. And everyone could get first 3s for the most part. For the longest time,
right?
It's tough to be giving that out to everybody.
Yes,
you could buy half the books back. They didn't even fucking have it.
No doubt.
First
All right, Dodgers and Rockies. We've got battle of lefties here. We've got Robleski on the mound for the Dodgers, Justin Robleski, and Jose Quintana for the Rockies. Dodgers -220, 230 road favorites, 11.5 the total here in this one. Quintana, I don't trust him against the LA Dodgers lineup. And by the way, he gave up 7 runs in 13 innings against them last year, so not great. And the last time he faced them, he gave up, remember in that playoff series with the Brewers, he gave up 3 runs, 6 hits, and 2 innings. He got crushed by the Dodgers. So I think the Dodgers get theirs. Do the Rockies get theirs against Robleski? And the thing is, Robleski's numbers are decent, but doesn't give you a ton of length. Although he did pitch 8 innings last time, which speaks volumes about how bad the Mets have been. But prior to that, he only went 5 innings in a lot of his other starts. You will see some of that Dodgers pen because I kind of want to lean to this 11. I mean, it's hitting weather. It's warm. It's a very warm, mild night at Coors tonight. The wind's favorable for the hitting as well. So everything screams over 11.5. It's high, but the question is, are you going to get enough from the Rockies here? Maybe you will, because they always seem to hit better at home, and we've seen it already on this homestand. C-Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, I think the Dodgers could score a bunch of runs, but I think they could win here today. Just no way. It's just like you take the Rockies here or nothing. I know, one back-to-back days. I think they could win here again. Quintana, he struggled. His numbers are right. And he gives up the long ball, which isn't good. Some of these Dodgers have got to him. But, yeah, zero value, I think.
3-10 on the road.
The Rockies.
6-3 at home, Colorado this year.
They're coming in. This is the Rockies team I want. Fuck them on the road. Play a little bit better baseball at home. Where last year was the oddity where they were just fucking dreadful at home. Or both on the road and at home couldn't hit a lick or win a baseball game. But yeah, Rockies here, nothing.
Rockies are nothing. I guess. I agree with that. I mean, I'm not laying them with the Dodgers in this spot, given that track record. All right, 2 games left. We got Toronto Blue Jays, LA Angels. Jays won a game finally yesterday, and I know people are a little bit relieved to see that. Toronto minus 120, road favorite, 7.5 the total. This is usually a momentum type of bet. I don't know. I don't love it at minus 120. I mean, I lean Jays. I do. I think Cease can go in there, pitch well. I think Detmers, there's some bats for the Jays that could match up well against him. I could see the Jays winning. I just don't know if minus 120 on the road is what I want. But I do like usually betting on teams after they snap a long cold spell. And the Jays finally got that feel-good win. They had the 8-run inning against Ryan Nelson in the first inning against Arizona yesterday, and they got yanked in the very first inning. Sometimes you need a blowout win like that to turn your season around. Maybe they go on a run. They are still battling injuries, no question. But I feel just from a pure momentum standpoint, it's Jays or pass for me here. C-Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, this one was tough for me. It's kind of just a pass. One of the later games I was going to dig into a little bit more. The problem is Cease has looked good. He has some pretty good numbers, but he's been a guy that's been tough for me to trust at times on the road and consistent. Consistency, not well, maybe it's not all the time, but backing him, your money on him, always hasn't been great. The Demers has been pretty good. He's at home where I like him a little bit better, but another guy who could get hit if he's leaving it up. So tough one from the air. I think Angels, though.
All right, good stuff. On we go. Last game here for this Monday. Athletics and Seattle Mariners. Emerson Hancock, JT Ginn, the pitching matchup. Seattle minus 145, minus 150. Home favorites, 8 the total. Yeah, not a whole lot here. Just one of those. I lean A's a little bit. But Hancock, I keep waiting for the other shoe to drop. I keep saying, is he really going to pitch pitching this well? Emerson Hancock, 2.35 ERA.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Keep going.
You
good?
I don't trust him. He's been good this year, but I know I've seen him in the past. And I was like, this is a bet against pitcher for me last year, 2 years ago. Maybe he's found something. There's a flaw in his delivery and mechanics, and he's fixed it. And now he's going to be a different pitcher, and he's been terrific so far. But I don't know. I'm not fully on board this brand new and improved Emerson fucking Hancock just yet. I'm not. So,
yeah.
A's. What do you think?
I know. I mean, the A's still, the pitching here with Ginn, who's looked all right, and their bullpen, I don't trust. This is moved 7.5 to 8. It's even touched 8.5 at a few spots with the total. And probably my problem too when I get this game is I'm worried about Hancock, even though at home I think he could have another good start. Where he goes 6 innings like he did last start. It was a no decision. But
one thing that had me lean into the A's too, C-Mac, is Ginn, like many of these A's pitchers, he's better on the road and he struggles more in that little bandbox ballpark.
And then when you look at the Mariners at this price, which we talk about all the time, I don't want to take them. I really got to trust this lineup. I think Naylor matches up well. He had the day off. He's had a few games in a row where he's got some hits. I think he's going to turn around because he's only hitting $140. Because I think this is a good matchup here tonight. So it's tough to take a guy who's in $146, Bano, but we know he can hit, and it's a Jackson. I just think there's value with him if he's going to be in the 4 spot with a righty. So it's like, do you want to take the Mariners just here minus 150 or the runs? I think when I was looking at this game to take it, because I think at least at home you get one more all right start. I mean, but he could get hit. But at home, one more here to win. To record the win, plus 175 with Hancock. The offense is, who knows, if the Mariners score 6, maybe they only score 3 and it's a 3-2 type game. But and then because when you get to the record the one, you got to trust these bullpens. That's another reason, depending with these bets. And of course, that's why you get good plus money on them. But I think that'd be the move here when I was looking at this game at plus 175.
That's certainly better than minus 140, like what we're seeing here.
Yeah, so
Seattle, minus 150. Yeah, it's the plus 175. Hancock picking up the win.
Yeah. To record the win.
Stuff. All right, Jack of the day, home run props. I already mentioned a couple that I'm on here for. Like I mentioned, Jordan Walker for St. Louis plus 650. James Wood is good for Washington plus 525. Hunter Goodman for Colorado. I like that plus 380. He's starting to swing a better bat lately.
Yeah.
Yordan Alvarez for Houston plus 450. He's really starting to heat up. He could go yard on Ciccone tonight in that game. And give me Junior. I like the Rays team total over. Give me Junior Caminero for Tampa Bay.
I was going to say he's been at least an RBI machine. I haven't been on him enough. A guy that, I like.
Good stuff. All right. Anything else for home runs? Yep.
Well, I'll tell you about Henderson. I think it's a decent look. Plus 460. Burleson plus 550. That's about it. Naylor. And we talked about those lefties. You mentioned Wood. I think Garcia, Abrams, I like. Gets to my best bet. Hit me up. Nats. Best bet segment. Hit me up. First 5. I want a full game, but this Braves bullpen's been very good. I'm going to think they could get 2 runs off Elder here. Best price I got minus 120. Nats team total first 5 over 1.5. Best bet.
There we go. All they need is 2 runs in the first 5 innings too.
Fuck Elder.
Yeah,
he's a dude to get ripped. Lefty's going to get to him.
All right, I like it. I like that it's only 1.5. Good value. Over 1.5. First 5 team total for Washington. There for CMAC. I'm going to the Cubbies, man. They're so bad right now, Philadelphia. Like, Nola's not even good on the road. He's not going to get run support even if he does pitch well because they can't hit anything right now, the Phillies. And the bullpen's been a mess. So it's bad shape right now for the Phillies. I think the price is very reasonable. Cubs are starting to put it together. Cheap price at home. Phillies off Sunday Night Baseball, so it's the Sunday Night Baseball bet against angle, too. Team traveling on the road after playing on Sunday night. So give me the Cubs here. Chicago Cubs minus 115 against struggling Philadelphia for my best bet. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button. We appreciate it very much. Brian Elfring, Nicholas Handy, Nick Alvento, Thomas Corbett, Steven Jackson, Mr. One and Done, of course, Ramon Scott, Gerald Jones, Jorge Herrera, Chase White, FB Gotti, Gundam Atticus. Thank you to everybody for joining us.
Appreciate it.
Here on this Monday of Hitting the Books. And as usual, we got a show for you tomorrow, same time, same place, and then members only Wednesdays and Fridays every week at 5 p.m. Eastern and 2 p.m. Pacific. So if you're not a member yet, become one so you can be part of the show we do on Wednesdays and Fridays.
Happy 420. That's smoke
yep.
If you don't.
Yep. I wish everybody a happy 420. Yeah. If that's your day and your thing, enjoy it. And have a great
that's your thing.
That's what I was like with Alex on the Ice Guys show because he loves the tote and everything. And so I said, if that's your that 420 is up your alley, enjoy it, have a blast. Like I said, and get blasted while you're at it. Yeah.
All right.
420. Great stuff. Thanks to everybody. Hit the like button on the way out. We appreciate it. For Connor Mack, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Monday night. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we will see you again tomorrow on Tuesday, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific for another edition of the Hitting the Books show. Until then, class dismissed.
Peace.